What's up everybody, Derek Ting here. We're in Sai Kung, Hong Kong. Today we're doing a review of the Sony a6400 with the 2470 2.8 G-Master lens. All right, let's go. All right, so I want to give you a quick overview that there are multiple lines in Sony and it can get quite confusing, but there's the APS-C line, I would say, that's a smaller, lighter cameras. The Sony a6300, the Sony a6500, and of course there's also the entry-level a6000, and there's other models out there. But I think the key differentiating factor of the a6400 is the flip-up screen, which allows people to video log on, and obviously, you know, you can take self-portraits with your family and friends. So that's exciting because there hasn't been that type of flip-up screen even on the higher lines. And the other thing is it has the eye autofocus. So I'll talk about eye autofocus later on and I'll explain it, but I think those are the two key things you want to think about for the Sony a6400. Now, I do want to mention though, one of the drawbacks of the 6400 is that it doesn't have the in-body image stabilization. Is the in-body image stabilization important? So how do you make that decision? I would say that if you're using the Sony and then you're using an adapter to use Canon lenses, then you're not going to want this camera because I think you do need the in-body image stabilization to get you know, a stable, acceptable picture. However, though, if you're using a Sony lens, then it's not that much of an issue because if the Sony lens has stabilization, then you're good to go, right? So then you don't necessarily need to bump up to the a6500 and pay that extra money. Now, if I'm traveling, I think that makes total sense to just have a Sony lens with a long zoom and you know, and you're good to go. And I wouldn't pay extra for the 6500. So how's the photo and video quality? Well, definitely if you appreciate the a6300 and 6500, which has a great sensor and also downsamples from 6K in video, then you're getting a great camera, and it now has the self-articulating screen, which is exciting. So what is eye autofocus? So essentially after the camera gets focused on you, if you hold down one of the buttons, it will lock on your eye. And then I think that's very exciting if you're trying to follow a moving subject within your frame, that you're going to get pretty sharp focus on that person. And that's what eye autofocus is. It's going to help you get those more difficult shots. If you're in the studio, it's not going to be as important. But if you're out and about and you're trying to get a photo of somebody, then you're going to want that eye autofocus because it's going to help you get some really cool street shots.
So we're shooting around Hong Kong. It's quite rainy today, but it's an interesting perspective. Get a bit of rain and you know, everything looks a little different. First off, I mean, it's pretty cool to get the flip screen and go pretty far. And it comes out 180. So I think that way you can shoot low, shoot around. It's very easy to focus and navigate, so quite like that. Another thing, they do have focus on the follow eye focus. So if you're shooting people, portrait, even for street photography, you want someone in focus but they're moving, I can just activate that and it follows the focus pretty easily.
All right, so who's this camera for? I think this is for somebody who's looking to find something light and nimble and take pretty good photo and video, and especially be able to see themselves. And of course, that means that if you're a YouTuber, this is a great potential camera for you because maybe you're not looking for the top. You just want to be able to take good stuff, good quality stuff, and be able to see yourself, which is super convenient. People who travel and want something that's better than just their phone and for photo and video, I wouldn't say it's for professional use, although you can achieve some really good results with this camera. If you are doing video specifically, let's say you're a videographer starting out, it would be fine if you're using Sony lenses with image stabilization. If you don't have that, or if you plan to use different lenses like Canon lenses, then I would say that it's not the ideal camera for you because it doesn't have that in-body image stabilization, and you really do need it if you're using other lenses. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, please definitely like, and I hope you'll subscribe so I can see you next time. All right, thanks.